Hello and welcome to this episode of the Stakin podcast. My name is Del Rey, and today I had a great conversation with Amanda and Chauncey from Angel Protocol. These guys are making donations easy and on the blockchain. I had lots of fun and learned a lot about them. Stay tuned. So, you're live, GM Stakin fan, and welcome to the Stakin podcast. So today I'm sitting down with Amanda and Chauncey from the Angel Protocol. Well, guys, tell me about you. How you doing? First of all, thank you for joining.
Yeah, thanks for having us. I'm doing great. Staying very busy, but yeah, doing well. It's a fun season right now. I don't know. It's like I was just talking to you about it. It just seems like I don't know. A lot of good things are going to happen in the next few months. I can feel it.
Oh yeah.
There's magic in the air, and I'm doing great, man. You know, blessings on blessings on blessings. Super busy, and I'd have it no other way. You know, stagnation is death, and it's another day above ground.
I like that. Stagnation is dead. It is indeed. And to your point, Amanda, yeah. I mean, supposedly we are in a bear market, right? But that is just for the price action. That's boring. The builders in the ecosystem are making it happen, and I'm seeing a lot going on in the Cosmos ecosystem. Let me tell you, everybody's trying to like build the next thing and be ready for the next bull run. So yeah,
honestly, man, like if you didn't look at the price charts, you really don't feel it in the community at all. Like everyone I talk to is just buzzing with energy, excited about what they're building, excited about next steps in the space. So yeah, let's just keep it going. We'll ride the next wave.
Absolutely. So guys, let's just start with from the beginning. This is a classic one. I like to get it out of the way right away. I don't know, Amanda, if you're gonna go first because ladies first, right? Tell me how you got into crypto. How was it for you? How'd you land in the Cosmos ecosystem?
So I didn't originally land in the Cosmos ecosystem. I did a majority of my research for like a year, I guess throughout the year of 2021 or into 2021. So like I have a family member in the space, and I was just like every time we were at family gatherings, like being pitched about like Terra and about UST and everything Terra. So I started doing a lot of research and reading white papers and just researching on a lot of the protocols and ran across Angel and actually just DM'd Chauncey while he was in the middle of a Twitter space, and he responded right away. And I was like, "Wait, really?" Like, and then just started working with the Angel Alliance. So the rest is history. So I love what I'm doing, and like charities are super like dear to my heart, and just being able to help fund those charities is just like the best thing in the world. Love it.
Awesome. Chauncey, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's very intimidating to approach me. I can seem like kind of a big deal. No, I get it. The DMs are open, any channel. Always happy to talk to people. I'm super grateful for Amanda and coming on to the team. She joined us just before the Terra crash and has just been a ride or die throughout. Put the Angel Alliance on her back, has been hiking up mountains with it. So it's been awesome. But yeah, for myself, I got into crypto similar time frame. Like I started, you know, I had purchased some stuff back in like 2017, 2018, but I wasn't too into the actual scene. And then around 2020, I got back into it, you know, first just kind of chasing the price action, number go up, Bitcoin, Ethereum, then started researching, you know, found out about DeFi, like had that light bulb moment of like, oh, wow, this changes everything about, you know, finance and how people transact value. And then getting deeper into Web3, and it's like, oh, it's not just about DeFi and finance. Like this is fundamentally changing how people coordinate around the world. And just the possibilities of, you know, addressing inequities, opening up access to people. It got me really inspired. I started pitching friends and family about all the benefits cryptocurrency could have for, people in countries with devaluing currencies, or even here in the United States. There's these poverty cycles that develop because people don't have access to the same levels of opportunity. So really got into the space just because I believed that it was a part of the future that could really make the future a better place. And yeah, it's been a crazy ride ever since.
I don't know if you said it, but I didn't catch the year you got into crypto, Shansi.
So towards the end of 2020, I first got into
End of
crypto.
2020.
And then in 2021, early 2021, I found the Terra blockchain was one of the first that I got like passionate about on an ecosystem level. And that was largely because of their whole chai payments being used by real people, or, at least that was kind of how it was all portrayed. And I got excited about that because I'm like, there's all this DeFi stuff and it's just, self-serving and not addressing anything outside of its own cycle. And then I see this stuff that people are using in everyday life. And I was like, wow, so this is actually how it's going to break mainstream. Got in really early there. And we became one of the very first builders on Terra. Angel Protocol just started with a tweet in April of 21. And it was literally, who wants to help me build this protocol called The Gift that keeps on giving? And I detailed it a little bit and just landed with, and by help me, I mean, I have no idea what I'm doing with any of this. And I've just leaned into the community ever since. Some people suggested to submit it into a hackathon that was happening at the time. Angel Protocol ended up placing in that hackathon, getting incubation support for tokenomics from Delphi Digital. And awesome. At that point, I said, peace to my legacy job with GE. I was a global program manager there. And, nothing against GE. It was a fun ride while I was there, but I just was ready for a new adventure. And wow, it has been an adventure.
That's good to hear, man.
It took me so long to understand UST and like being it pegged to $1 and like the whole mechanisms of like burning and minting. Like it took me so long. I had to like sit down and be like, explain it again. And then finally when it clicked, I was like, this is amazing. And then like, that's when I, all in Terra, then all out Terra. Now here we are.
Oh yes, here we are indeed. Wow. I remember that Terra collapse, man. It was in May, beginning this year, but it feels like it was like 2 years ago already. I don't know what happens with the crypto time. And yeah, one of the few projects that I saw like standing out was Angel Protocol and others. I know you migrated to Juno, if I'm not mistaken. I dressed for the occasion, right?
Wow.
So let's get right into this. I don't know if Shansi, if you want to take this one. What is Angel Protocol and what is the goal of the project?
Yeah, so Angel Protocol is really set up to democratize access to opportunity. And the way we do that is we provide change makers with tools to fundraise, coordinate, and invest. We started with charities, nonprofit endowments. And this is important because a lot of charities suffer from a lack of financial sustainability. You have over $650 billion a year donated, yet most nonprofits have less than 30 days of operating reserves, and only 1 in 9 have access to what we call endowments. And a lot of people aren't familiar with endowments. It's basically a savings investment account for nonprofits. It's meant to preserve their principal, beat inflation, make sure that the organization has funds to, live through the rainy days and sustain the very unpredictable donation patterns. And so that's a perfect example of a financial primitive that a lot of people and organizations need access to that simply isn't available in traditional finance. So we created on-chain endowments. Not only can charities and nonprofits accept crypto and fiat donations, multi-chain all over the world, but they actually put those to work. So it gets invested into different DeFi yield assets. We're especially keen on this whole real-world asset boom. It's kind of a meme, real-world asset, but it really is just any type of financial instrument that exists today that people bring on-chain for liquidity. So protocols like Goldfinch are a good example of this. They do emerging market lending. It provides about 15% yield. Has nothing to do with DeFi, has nothing to do with crypto markets, except that they brought it on chain. So now our charity endowments can invest in these types of yield strategies that both grow their donations over time, and also contribute to further impact in the world. So that's really where we started, had a lot of traction there, onboarded over 165 NGOs, raised over $6 million, $3 million through the Angel Alliance, which we'll speak to in a moment. But yeah, so we're relaunched on Juno now, and we're also expanding our product to appeal to all types of change makers. So not only nonprofits, but also social entrepreneurs around the world. You know, if you're starting an impact-oriented business in Uganda or Colombia or the Philippines, it can be very hard to get access to capital. This is one of those areas where traditional finance has tons of intermediaries, tons of people who are very predatory, take fees. There's a lot of gated access that people just can't get into these different systems, get access to these different loans. So with what we call angel impact funds, it allows anyone to set up their own organization, you know, all the standard DAO tooling, wrapping, have a place in our fundraising page. So you can have an actual portal that anyone can go to, totally free to set up. Now you can accept funds from a global audience and then put those funds to work, invest them in the same yield sources we develop for endowment. So effectively it becomes treasury management for social entrepreneurs.
Awesome. I don't know, Amanda, if you want to add something to that. Yeah, I mean,
no, that
yeah.
was awesome. I'm not going to try to
cover it all.
that.
It was.
Amanda, why don't you tell them a little about the Angel Alliance, though, because that's such a key part.
Oh, well, yeah, of course. I just didn't want to like.
We'll get to Angel Alliance in
okay,
a moment. No worries, no worries. But you know, when I first saw Angel Protocol, I was really happy with it because let me put in the screen here. All right, I forget always. So when I first saw Angel Alliance, Angel Protocol, I was very happy to see something like that. I believe it was the first time for me seeing something as this kind of helping NGOs and helping donors to donate. You know, personally, I go to the beach once a month and we do like a beach cleanup, right? It's a good way to do something. But sometimes I want to give my money to these kind of people that are doing this kind of job, right? And in my country, Dominican Republic, it's really hard to get that done. Part of the reasons is that you almost don't have any information about those organizations, and the ones who do, you call their phone number and they don't pick up. So it's really hard. Let me. What I wanted to ask you is how you come up with this idea. Any of you? I mean, Chansey, did you wanted to donate to something, or you wanted to get donations, and you found like a struggle in that, and you wanted to make it easy? How you come up with this idea, or why having a protocol for donations?
So really, it's what got me so passionate about crypto in the first place. Like when I learned about DeFi and Web3 and got into it, I became an evangelist for friends and family. And I came from GE where everything was communicated in pitch decks. So I would literally put together decks, not for public consumption, just for friends and family. And it would walk through like what crypto is, what Web3 is. And I had a whole slide in there about like all of the ways crypto could benefit the world. And I shared some of those examples of like, you know, people in Venezuela with devaluing currencies, just people in general in poverty cycles. And I was just thinking like how awesome this is. And I was very disappointed with how little the DeFi space was actually breaking into the mainstream and actually helping people. And so I had that thought, and then it was literally a shower thought one day. I'm like, well, why focus just on individuals? There's all these organizations that have the exact same issues, exact same lack of access, and frankly, the same type of poverty cycle. Like when you think of NGOs, a lot of times people think of these huge bloated organizations, like the largest NGOs in the world. And they're like, it's corrupt, not enough money goes to where it's supposed to. And that you're missing the point, right? Like that's just part of the wealth inequality of it. The top organizations get most of the money, get most of the visibility. And once you're at a certain size, there's a certain level of bloat and waste. Meanwhile, you have this long tail of tons of organizations doing impactful work all over the world. They never get the time of day. They never get eyes on them. It's a thankless job for them. They're trying to fundraise. They're trying to do what they can to get by. And they just don't have the support they need. And I just got really passionate about that and wanting to try and make a difference and use this technology for something good and really show the world what crypto and Web3 can be capable of. And I'm just blown away that we've been able to do that. You know, like I don't know if you've seen some of the videos, like from Yellow Boat in the Philippines. Our community voted on chain to send $500,000 to the Philippines. And you can see houses being rebuilt, food being delivered, schools being reconstructed, boats being made, because a lot of the Philippines is a boating industry. And it's really magical to take all of this work that you've done in the cloud and see it actually make positive externalities. And it makes it all worth it, man.
It is really valuable, indeed. Thanks for sharing. Let me see, because I'm curious now. Let's say I'm an organization, right? I have let's see, a shark preservation fund, or clean the beaches, whatever. I'm that organization. What would be the process for me if I want to have like this endowment that you say, or how do I create an account in Angel Protocol, and can I start taking advantage of that as an organization?
Absolutely. And just quick random note, a lot of you know the Terra Spaces or FOMOFin does a lot of Twitter Spaces recordings, puts up a calendar, not just for Terra, but all across the cosmos. He actually has a charity that he set up himself. And it's about culling bluefish, which are a predatory animal that really destroys the reefs. And so he will go out and do boating expeditions to catch the lionfish, and then they actually bring them back and sell them in the market. So it's this whole nice cycle. But just a story of someone in the community who had a nonprofit that did register on Angel Protocol and is benefiting now. But it's honestly super easy. Just go to angelprotocol.io. You'll see a section there for nonprofits. You can click into that and click to register. And it can be an entirely automated process. We always take calls with charities whenever they want to discuss and talk through. And honestly, most of them do, because it's new for most of them. So we usually do one-on-one meetings with charities, but it can also be a completely touchless onboarding where you can just go, fill out a form, put in your information. The most complicated part of it is setting up a wallet, which honestly isn't that difficult. But all of our organizations actually set up their own Juno wallets. So now we have Juno-pilled 165 different NGOs who have Juno Kepler wallets, have substantiated their own endowment through Angel Protocol, and are seeing these benefits that Juno and the overall Cosmos and Web3 ecosystems can provide.
Awesome. So this account is not something that you create for these organizations. I can have my own wallet and say, hey, this is my own wallet. I want to get the funds here. So you never touch those funds, let's say?
Yeah, we are non-custodial. So every organization sets up its own account. When you create your account, a multi-sig is actually created. So we have native multi-sig functionality that our team developed. So every charity endowment is governed by a multi-sig. It can be a one-of-one if if it's a smaller organization. But it also gives larger organizations some peace of mind that they can kind of segment roles and responsibilities and make sure things go through different checks and balances. And the other thing I wanted to mention too is we seed every new endowment with $100 to start off. This is thanks in a large part to our AP endowment, which is a community-governed charity fund that has about $300,000 in it right now, and is fed by Angel Alliance partners. So that's a whole other element of Angel that we don't often get a chance to talk about. But I'm really excited for everything we can do there with the community proposing, charitable grants and directing that funding in different ways and just really making it a truly decentralized community governed process.
You know what? Let's cover Angel Alliance real quickly. What's that about?
What's it about? Let's go. So the Angel Alliance was born out of a vision originally by Apollo Dow, and they wanted to find a way to give to charity perpetually. So they donated native tokens, and that kind of was our Locked for Good program was born from that. And so basically the Angel Alliance is just an awesome, we don't want to say cult, I'm just kidding. It's a collective of people on the blockchain in Web3, basically for profit, networks or NFT artists, basically like anybody who is passionate about giving back to charity. So I talk with on Twitter Spaces, or I talk with different protocols, and if they're interested in giving back, like we make that possible for them. So yeah, it's a really unique way for the whole like corporate social responsibility on the blockchain. So a network can come to us and say, we want to give back to charity. Everything's on chain. The community can get behind it by proposals, and then they fund the AP endowment or a specific charity. It depends on whatever that community or what their vision looks like, what they want to do. But yeah, it's just a really unique way for the on-chain Web3 corporations to fund those charities.
Okay. Oh, wow. Thanks for letting me know that. So I have one quick question then. So if with the Angel Alliance, the community comes together and decide where we're gonna donate, how is that different from donating on the Angel Protocol side? I don't know if I'm making sense to you.
No, I mean you can definitely do that as an individual or an organization for sure. Okay. It's more like if somebody like a larger corporation or a larger entity of people want to do it and have their community get behind it, like for example, we had like an NFT collection and they drew pictures of lemurs. So their NFTs were lemurs, and they're called the Dreamers NFT. They're on Polygon. And they said that their community was very passionate about the Lemur Conservation Foundation. So, we worked with that specific foundation, got them onboarded to Angel Protocol. And so now that NFT collection can give right to that specific charity, they wanted to do that. So it's just like the possibilities are endless, like I mentioned before, we have that Locked for Good program. So if you're a layer 1 or if you have a native bearing token, or a yield bearing token, I'm sorry, if you have a native token, you could donate a percentage of those tokens to the Angel Protocol endowment, or, however it works. We could use yield sources as a way to fund the charities, and you're not losing that principle.
Awesome. Yeah. You heard that, L1s. Make sure you make your donations, all right?
L1s, really any protocol. Like the key thing for us is my general philosophy is people are generally good, but overriding that is convenience. Convenience sort of rules all. People flow like water down the most convenient path. So our whole mission with Angel Protocol and the Angel Alliance is to make giving easy. And one of the things you see is there's this incentive misalignment in crypto, right? So if you are Juno or you are Uniswap, an L1 or a protocol, if you have a native token and you want to do good with it, you have this issue where if you donate it to charity and that gets market sold and liquidated for stable coins, then it hurts your community, it hurts your price. So when you put that up for a governance vote on chain, 99 times out of 100, that's going to be voted down. So how do we enable these L1 ecosystems and protocols to actually join a giving pledge and commit to social impact? That's where the Locked for Good program comes in. We take the native token, either stake it for yield or LP it for yield, compound the initial principal, pay the rest out to charities over time. So in this way, the community is actually permanently locking up supply and creating a generative giving engine. So it's just these win-win-wins that we try and look for that make sure that everyone who's participating in this benefit from it.
Oh man, I love
also, that. And what we talked about, like what Chauncey was saying, was so many charities like don't have that the runway or they don't know when their next check or donation might come in. So having a bunch of people in our Locked for Good program just provides that steady stream of income for the nonprofits, which is just huge. Like having that safety net that they can rely on. So that's also very beneficial for all parties.
Thank you. I mean, yeah, it seems like it sounds really cool. So you say it's Locked for Good, right?
Yeah, Locked for Good, LFG.
LFG? LFG?
That's right. We like having fun with it. We also have a nonprofit, also Partners Empowering Societies. So our nonprofit is called APES, and our giving program is called LFG.
I love LFG. Awesome. Oh man, I love crypto so much. This is crazy.
You're not having fun. You're doing it wrong, Del Rey.
Totally, man. I totally agree with you on that. So we already spoke about how easy it is for donors to donate, right? These community-driven donations arrangement, like the Angel Alliance. Uh, can you tell me maybe another benefit of for donors?
So for donors overall, I mean, there's a lot of benefits. I think the most impactful one is that your impact is amplified and it's perpetual. So a lot of people have this issue with charities where they donate, they don't know what happens with the funds, and they don't know how effective the usage of those funds are, how long they support the charity. With Angel Protocol, when you give once, you actually give forever. Because you're donating to a charity, it goes into their endowment, that principal is protected, invested, and so you're creating a runway for the organizations that you donate to. It's kind of the whole thing of, teach a man to fish rather than give him a fish. So for donors, that really resonates of, wow, I can make a perpetual lasting difference. And then I honestly think it's a lesser part of it, but there's also the tax element. So we provide immediate tax receipts as soon as you donate. It's all automated on both the charity and donor part there. And only if you want to provide your name and email. That's completely optional. You can donate anonymously and not provide any of that. But if you'd like a tax receipt, you can. And this actually has dual benefits, especially in a bull market where you're sitting on crypto gains. But some people are still up in crypto overall. And the whole thing here is you can donate crypto, you avoid capital gains tax, and you get a tax receipt right off. So it's really a double whammy where you would be paying over half of that to the tax man anyway. So why not actually create social impact with it and get a tax break?
Totally, dude. Quick question. Now that you mentioned tax and stuff, have you been approached by any regulator or somebody to talk about taxes or any laws? I don't know if you can share any story on that, or they just let you do your business and that's it.
So we've had no issues with regulators. It's an interesting thing that comes up in on and off ramps, where a lot of on and off ramps are a little hesitant to work with charities or NGOs. Because there's some concern around donations and money laundering. So that's like one thing on the radar. But by and large, we haven't had an issue. And one of the huge benefits that Angel Protocol has enjoyed is we have over 100 years of social impact experience within our team. When we came together in that hackathon, which, by the way, was awesome because it was a true decentralized Web3 birth. No one on the founding team knew each other prior to starting Angel Protocol. Everyone came from different countries, different walks of experience. And we have, people who have founded organizations over 20 years ago, grown them to multinational NGOs. We have people who've founded a number of different NGOs in emerging markets, others who have set up impact investment funds. And we have an amazing nonprofit lawyer on our side who really helps us out pro bono significantly. And we are extremely, extremely grateful for him because normally, you pay a lot for legal support. And he just helps us out because he believes in the mission. And that's been the wind at our back. That's how we attract high frequency vibration individuals like Amanda and so many other members of the team who are just in it for the right reasons. Having a sense of purpose behind your project is such an intangible that people don't fully acknowledge or understand. And that's where the Angel Alliance comes in too. Like you asked about benefits for donors, and that applies on the Angel Alliance side, right? So Angel Alliance is NFT projects, validators, protocols, other types of businesses like Flipside Crypto. And they've all joined some type of giving pledge and incorporated purpose into their project by donating through the Angel Alliance.
Wow, that's great. That's great, man. Thank you for sharing. And to that lawyer, we salute you. Thank you for your help as well. And let me tell you about what you say about high frequency people and energy and stuff. I love that, man. I believe that's real. And let me tell you, I knew Amanda on Twitter and something just connect with her. I don't know what was that, but yeah, we've been chatting, engaging. It's really cool. And when I met her at the Cosmoverse, like I knew who she was already before I know her. Right? It was really cool. She's a joy to be around with. To be honest.
It was so nice meeting you. Like I was like, oh my God, like you meet these people, like the face behind the profile picture. Like so many people came up to, I mean, I have a raccoon right now as my profile picture, but before that, people could see my face. So many people are coming up to me at the conference. They're like, Amanda. I was like, who are you? But I'm so happy to meet you. And like, you know, just to see everybody face to face was incredible. I loved it. Like that like is the best part of like this job, you know, meeting the people and hanging out with everybody and like the connections it's just incredible.
Thank you, Amanda. You know, now that I have you on a stage, let me get this one out of the way. I remember we had a chat the other day and I asked you your thoughts on women in the crypto space, right? But let's do this one short and sweet, or well, how you want it. What is a piece of advice you would give to any woman that want to get started into crypto and make a career?
So the thing that I've told multiple people, not like men and women, I just say like, go for it. Like, what's the worst that can happen? The worst that can happen is a founder doesn't email you back or you don't get the job or whatever. I mean, that's the worst. And then you're no worse off. I like, honestly, like just go for it. Like, I think, especially if you have like a personality or if you have a passion, like those are the two main things. Like you can learn about DeFi, you can learn about making graphics, you can like if you can organize a Google Drive, hired. But like, you know, like I just go for it. Like I think that's like we're so early and people are looking for somebody who's just good at community management or just being able to talk on a Twitter space or like anything. I think, I mean, my personality, I'm not scared of things. So like just reaching out to people is like, of course I'm going to do that. Like I'm going to ask for a job because why not? But yeah, I would just encourage people not to be intimidated. Like, yeah, like I said, the worst they can say is no.
Like the Nike guy, just do it, right?
Yeah, just do it.
So I don't know. I believe I haven't asked you how many members do you have in your team at the moment?
So we have about 14 full-time members now. That's split between about half engineering team, half operations team, and that includes charity onboarding support, Angel Alliance, obviously. And then this whole Angel Impact Fund expansion into social entrepreneurs. We've got a number of different pilot programs running there. Right. So unlike a lot of like crypto protocols that really just exist in the cloud, our whole thing is reaching a mainstream normie audience. And to do that, we have to just hustle, get on calls, reach out to people, try and make as many connections, go to these different conferences and networking events, not just for crypto, but also for social impact, for charity. So, yeah.
Cool. Really cool. And I wanted to, let's say I just found you on Twitter, right? I read all about you. I saw this podcast and I love it. And I want to get involved with Angel Protocol. What the community members can do to help you in your mission?
So many things. We are always looking for more help, always welcoming new volunteers to the crew. And by the way, I mentioned like 12 full-time people or 14 full-time people. We also have another probably, I don't know, between 15 to 20 different people who contribute regularly, just volunteering, pitching in, helping out. Again, just passionate about the cause, passionate about what we do. So if you want to help out, please, you can ping us on Twitter, but I would encourage you to hop into our Discord. That's really the best way to engage and connect. We're always looking for support, reaching out to charities, looking for support, writing new content articles, looking for support, connecting with new partners. So translations of our material into different languages for inclusivity. There, drawing. There's always NFT art that we can work with. If you know front end and you want to help out, I've got about 1,000,001 different fun front end ideas, and just not enough time and bandwidth to get them implemented. But yeah, there's a lot of different ways you can help out, a lot of different ways you can pitch in, and we welcome all support we can get.
That's great to hear, man. Awesome. I'm so happy recording this, man. I mean, it's really cool. Like I said, I believe in your protocol. It's like filling a very big gap in the crypto space, and eventually, I know the value is gonna flow through you, and that's awesome. I will be more than happy to see how that develops in the future. Let me ask you about the Angel protocol. Do you have like an Angel token?
We do. So it's the Halo token. It's our underlying governance token. We haven't relaunched that yet. It was launched previously on Terra. We did some fundraising with it, all through public sale. So we haven't been involved with any VCs yet, but it was just through different launch pads that were available on Terra, and then a liquidity bootstrapping event that we did. Unfortunately, a lot of our runway was wiped out with the Terra collapse, but we lived to fight another day. So all's good on that front. We'll be relaunching Halo token next year. And Halo, so I'm really excited about this. And again, shout out to Delphi Digital, who helped incubate us and helped develop some of the Halo tokenomics here. But the whole thing with Halo is about aligning incentives between donors and charities. So every charity on Angel Protocol has their own what's called a bonding curve. And really, this is just a means of staking into the charity to support them. The earlier you stake, the longer you stake, the more benefit you receive. So what this does is, well, let me back up a step. The main source of Halo emissions is actually donation matching. So once Halo is relaunched, when you're donating to a charity on our platform, 10% of the value of your donation actually gets matched in Halo. That Halo gets staked into the charity's bonding curve, and it's split between the donor and the charity. So it's both benefiting you and the charity, but it gives the donor skin in the game now. Because when they're staked to a charity, they enjoy part of that charity's endowment yield, which actually incentivizes them to fundraise for the charity, draw more attention to the charity, share and promote the charity to get more people involved, more people donating. Similarly, on the charity side, it encourages them to be very transparent and active and open with their donors. The more transparent and open the charity is about how they're using the funds, what kind of impact they're creating with it, the more donors they'll attract. The more donors they attract, the more staking into their bonding curve. And this is all a curation mechanism. So Angel's an infrastructure improvement for philanthropy. Our goal is to have all of the NGOs in the world have access to and use Angel. But in terms of the Angel Alliance, when people donate through the Angel Alliance, if they don't have one specific charity in mind, that funding goes into the AP endowment, which is then spread out across all of the charities on Angel Protocol based on their Halo curation score. So the more stakers that you have to your charity, the more, and relative to the size of your endowment, so it's not just a whale game, but the more relative stakers you have to your charity, the more Angel Alliance automated funding you'll receive. So really, it's just trying to work incentive alignment in favor of both donors and charities to give each side what they need.
Awesome, man. Thanks for sharing. And real quickly, before we move forward, is there a minimum I have to donate?
Absolutely not.
Donate whatever
any amount is an important amount. So yeah, there's no minimums to donate at all.
Okay. Thank you for clearing.
And we also take no cut of incoming donations. So that's another thing. Most sites that allow you to donate in crypto take some kind of 3 to 5% processing fee off of that. With the extremely low transaction fees of Cosmos, you're only paying that transaction cost, which is like fractions of a cent. So there's no cut of incoming donations. Whatever you're donating to the charity goes 100% to them.
Awesome. It's good that you mentioned that, because I believe I didn't ask you this, Shanse, or I don't know if you, Amanda, want to take this one. If you don't take anything out of the donation, how do you guys make money then?
Yeah, so it's only on the upside for the organizations. Something that's really important for us is to make it extremely easy for charities and other types of change makers to enter this space. So that's why there's no setup fee, no cut of incoming donations. Where we do make our money is on the actual yield you're generating. So we take 50 bips on total assets under management. That's 0.5%. And there's also a withdrawal fee of 2%. But with our yield sources bearing over 15%, really, if you have your money in there for a quarter, you've already made more than you would ever pay in the transaction fees. So, we make enough to get by. We make that very low on purpose, so it's a very easy barrier to entry. And it gives us enough to sustain ourselves and keep working.
That's what's up. And it sounds sustainable, being honest. Thanks for sharing. Wow, man. This has been great. I just didn't watch the hour. I forgot that we start like later in this episode. But yeah, let me synthesize so we can wrap it up. Yeah, I forgot. On the future side of things, what are your plans that you have for the following 3-6 months, maybe, to further develop Angel Protocol? Any alpha you can drop for us?
We have a lot of exciting stuff coming up here. One, we have an entire UI UX overhaul that'll be going live in about a month here. We're pretty excited for that. It's pretty sexy, if I do say so myself. And I mean, honestly, I like our UI now. We've gotten compliments on it, but we can get even better, even more, quote unquote, normie friendly in that way. So excited about that. Angel impact funds as a whole, right? Like if you go to our site now, what you'll find is the charity marketplace, specifically charities donating to endowments. When we go live with angel impact funds, that'll be open to all types of change makers. So social entrepreneurs, like I mentioned, it can also be used for other types of impact, right? If you're a public goods developer trying to raise money for your project, you can set up an angel impact fund. If you're a DeSci researcher who's trying to crowdfund support for your research, you can set up an angel impact fund. And so really our charity marketplace will transform into a broader impact marketplace. So if you're a donor looking for an organization to donate to, you can find that. If you're an impact investor who wants to actually put your money to work towards an impactful cause and actually have some upside in some type of social enterprise business that someone's creating, you have that optionality too. So I'm really excited for that, and we have a lot of different partners like ready to use that functionality. And even if you are a fund manager for impact, right? So Sagar Tandon is one of the members of our team. He runs his own VC, well, not VC, I wouldn't call it, but like an impact investment fund. And it's very DEI oriented, where they try and put diverse founders in place of different impact funds to really put power at the top of how funds are distributed rather than just giving money out to people. And so he's going to be bringing his fund on chain and using angel impact funds as a way to coordinate and then deploy capital. So really excited for all of that. And then our yield sources overall, we've got a lot of integrations in the works. We're already connected with JunoSwap. We're currently connecting with Astroport. And then we have a bunch of different EVM integrations too, simply because that's where a lot of the real world assets exist today. We're also very excited about those real world asset type yields coming to Cosmos, like through the form of Sommelier and some of the other protocols there. But our goal is to have, over 20 different yield sources. We'll have, a sort of default portfolio index that people can choose from. But then it just gives a lot of diversity, a lot of different yield sources, and insulates us from the kind of risk that we saw on Terra with being overly dependent on any one sort of yield source. So all of that, very, very excited for.
Awesome. What about you, Amanda? Are you excited in something in particular in the future?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I plan on being like as many conferences as I can, meeting new people and projects, and I'm especially interested, like moving forward in the next 3 or 4 months, like just the different integrations that are going to come out, like different projects that have approached us or we've approached them and pitched this idea of having Angel like within their like user interface. Like, I'm not going to say anything because it's still hush hush, but like some big integrations. So I'm super pumped about that. Just having the presence of Angel Alliance, like, and having all of these partners just everywhere. And, that's what I'm so excited about.
Thank you so much. So guys, let's see. I believe we cover many stuff in this short amount of time. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna come up with other questions as soon as I finish this call. That's just how the brain works. But yeah, again, thank you for taking the time and chatting with me today. I really appreciate it, and looking forward to work more with you in the future. Is there something I didn't cover that you want to say? Now will be the best time for that.
Yeah, I wouldn't say anything that you didn't cover. Just a huge thank you for having us on, giving us a platform. The more we can get our voice out there, the better. And really, there's no one hearing this who can't help us out in some way. If you know nonprofits who can benefit, let us know. Guide them our way. We love warm intros. If you're a protocol, NFT project, validator, other type of business, talk to Amanda. Come join the Angel Alliance. Any amount is an impactful amount, and it's a statement to the world. The Angel Alliance has over 125 members. When people look at the crypto space, we need to win in the court of public opinion. We need to win hearts and minds. When they see a federated alliance of over 125 different crypto-related projects that are committed to impact, that have taken some kind of giving pledge. And again, it's not about the amount, it's about the spirit and the principle behind it, right? So if you're a tiny NFT project and you don't have much to give, if you're a validator and you're not making a ton of commission, 1% of that still matters. It still sends a message. So anyone out there, please, there's ways that you can join, ways that you can be part of this movement, and we welcome you. So thank you.
You got it, dude. And thank you, Shansi. Thank you, Amanda. And see you next time, all right? Stay safe out there.
Thanks.
Take care of each other, fam. Thank you, Del Rey.
And that's all for today's episode. Remember to follow us on Twitter, join our Discord and Telegram for more. See you next time, cosmonauts.